Hey guys, welcome back to Rooted Homeschool. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Christina, homeschool mom of 5 kids, ages 1, 2, 5, 9, and 13. Today I'm sharing with you my very first curriculum unboxing. This is a couple of firsts for me because I've never ordered an actual curriculum that comes shipped to me already printed. Usually I go with digital files and I print them out, but this curriculum I've been wanting to try for a while. Not only is it my very first box of curriculum to come, which is super exciting, it's also a curriculum that I've been wanting to try for a while, probably almost the whole first year that I homeschool, because I'm at the end of my first year, and finally the time just seemed right to try it. And so all of this is for next year, the 21-22 school year, which sounds crazy to even say that. And I'll share with you my reasons for why I decided to try it as I'm unboxing. So other than just opening it so I could peek in, I genuinely have not looked at any of the materials other than one thing, and I'll show you that one thing when I get to it. I'm gonna start with the little box. This one I just peeked in because I couldn't wait, but I did not take them out of the plastic wrap, so I'm genuinely going to do that right here with you guys. So I have my little kitty scissors. If the kids were here, they would go crazy with this bubble wrap. This first box is the books for the summer reading program from The Good and the Beautiful. Now, this was one thing that totally won me over about The Good and the Beautiful, was seeing that they were giving away tens of thousands of free books for this summer reading program. So I am super excited. So this one is for K through 3. So this one I got for Gia. I'm super tempted to open it up and look at the book, but I think I want to just let it be a surprise for them and for me, so I'm not going to do that. But this one, you can tell it's like a little bit thinner because it's for a younger kid. It has a letter on the front to the child telling them about the reading program, and then they have a reading log and stickers on the inside, and even this little bookmark that says choose books that uplift and inspire. And this brings me to the other main reason why I decided that I wanted to try The Good and the Beautiful. Now you guys, if you've been following me, you know that I love Gather Round Homeschool. They really are our main unit study that we follow together as a family. We do our main curriculum family style, and then the kids do their math, and then we'll do some add-ons, like we've done Foundations in Personal Finance from Dave Ramsey, and we've done a unit with campfire curriculums, which we'll have another one of those coming up pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. We also have been loving using curriculum from Thistles and Biscuits, which again, there'll be another video on that one because I absolutely love their stuff as well. And you know we do Exploring Nature with Children, which I absolutely love as well. I'll link all of these below. But another one of the things that really drew me to The Good and the Beautiful is their mission statement, and really just the fact that in our family, we always talk about Philippians 4:8, right? And it's right here, even on the letter to the kids for their summer reading books. And it says, the Bible teaches us to seek things that are true, honest, pure, virtuous, and lovely. This applies to all things, even books. I'm not gonna read this whole thing to you guys. I just love how The Good and the Beautiful has made it their mission to only share materials and sell materials that they have checked out and that they feel are of high moral value, that honor God. And this couldn't be more important to me as a mom. I have had plenty times when my kids were in public school where they came home from the library with books that I was like, why is this even in an elementary library? So for me to know that anything that I get from The Good and the Beautiful is going to be something that I don't have to worry about exposing my child to something that like we don't want them exposed to, makes me feel very comfortable as a mom, because I can't read every single book ahead of time that they want to read. Well, ordering books from The Good and the Beautiful, or even just picking off of their book list, eliminates my need to be concerned about that. And I have found the same with the book lists from Gather Round Homeschool. I have to say that as well. So I have the K through 3 for Gia. This is the 4 through 6. This is for Jackson, who's going into 5th grade, technically next year. Gia would be a 1st grader. And then they even have one for 7 through 12. And so this one is for Justice because he will be going into 9th grade next year. And I cannot believe that. But that brings me to the reason why I finally broke down and decided the time was right for me to try The Good and the Beautiful. Because with Justice going into high school next year, I did want to ramp up his academics a little bit. Like, I want to be able to put together a transcript for him. I want to challenge him a bit more. And I have heard such wonderful things about The Good and the Beautiful's curriculum, specifically their language arts curriculum. If you don't know this already, I am a high school English teacher. I teach 10th grade English. I've been teaching 10th grade English for 5 years. So I can tend to be a little bit critical, even though I don't want to be. And I have to tell you, Gather Round Homeschool has been amazing for my family and for my kids. We absolutely love it. We are going to continue using it as a family. And it does include strong language arts concepts. But with Justice going into 9th grade, I really did want to try something that's going to challenge him a little bit more and is a little bit more intensive. Now, many of you probably already know that I went back to work in person full time just a little over a month ago. And as far as I know, unless God has a different plan, I will be working in person next year as well. And so I wanted to make sure that even though I'm not here all day and I can't oversee every single thing that they're doing throughout the day, even though I check their stuff, I wanted to make sure Justice was getting what he needs with him going into high school. I'm not saying that I don't think Gather Round can provide that, and we still will use Gather Round, but this was the perfect opportunity for me to try The Good and the Beautiful. The other thing, which seems like a weird reason, but it's just full disclosure, is that I've been wanting to splurge and just get some curriculum that comes printed and ready to go. And Gather Round has that available, right? You can get everything in print from them. And a lot of the curriculums you can get in print. And The Good and the Beautiful provides tons of free curriculum on their website in PDF form. And so that's kind of the reason why I was always like, I can try that whenever I want because I can just sort of print it out and try it when I want. Well, that is not the case for their high school language arts. So that was a prime reason for right now. I want to try this. Anyway, I want to try this for high school for my 9th grader, my almost 9th grader, and they don't provide it in a PDF, and I want to make sure I can get it. And I was excited. So I got it. And I know that that is what is in this big box here. And so that is what I'm opening next. Now, I did open the very top of this and I did peek at one thing, which I will show you. I opened the box. I was going to look at all of it, I'll be honest. And then I decided I was going to do a true unboxing where I just look at the stuff with you guys. This was right on the top though, and I did pull these out and look at this. This is one of their level 8 book studies. And I chose to get one of these for Justice for a couple of reasons. First of all, Justice is only 13, does not turn 14 until November. So he's always been one of the youngest, if not the youngest in his class since kindergarten. So I grappled with whether or not to wait a year to put him into school so that he wouldn't be the youngest and the smallest and all of those things all the time. And I didn't, because he loved to learn and he was so smart. And even his preschool teacher was like, no, don't do that. Like, don't hold him back. I also know from what everyone says, from the reviews that I've seen and the videos that I've watched, that The Good and the Beautiful doesn't necessarily follow grade level. So like, for example, their level 7 would be more like, if you look on their website, their level 7 is considered like upper 8th grade, lower 9th grade level. So I did have a hard time deciding between the level 8 which would be level 7 with the honors book studies that I'm going to talk to you about. So I had a hard time deciding between that and the high school 1. So there's high school 1, high school 2, high school 3. Finally, I decided on the high school 1 with Justice. So I explained to him everything that I explained to you. I also took into consideration that this is a new curriculum that we haven't done, and it does seem a little bit more intensive in terms of the demands for language arts than what we had done so far. So I explained all of this to him, thinking maybe he would say, you know what, let's start out with the level 7 and the honors book studies. Keep it easy. He didn't. He said, you know what, let's try it. And I thought that that was a really good idea, because I figured if we try it and it's too much, I will just save it for next year, and we will order the level 7 and the level 8 honors book studies. And then when he feels ready, we'll move on to the high school 1. So it really wouldn't be a loss. So you never know, that could happen. But what I wanted to do for him for his summer reading, and this is a little bit of a sneak peek because I will do like a full summer reading video coming soon, but I figured a good way to ease him into the style of the good and the beautiful, and to just kind of test the waters, was to get him one of the level 8 book studies. Now, he would be doing summer reading anyway, and as you can see, like, this is a little book, and even this book is not overly long, right? And I'm sure this is not going to be all he reads anyway for the summer. And he was totally on board with that. I thought maybe he was going to grumble about like, why am I doing a book study in the summer? And I'm also going to talk to you in another video what our plans are for homeschooling over the summer. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, this is one of the things that I did peek at, and I'm so glad that I did, because I wouldn't know that it was there and to share it with you guys. So I also let him choose the book. That's another thing. We looked at the book and the level 8 books together, and he chose this one, Wild Like the Foxes, and it looks really good. And I did show this to him, and my 9-year-old was there, my almost 10-year-old, oh my goodness. And he was like, can I read that too? So I may need to order another one, or they can share. But I was really curious to see, again, the English teacher, and obviously just the mom in me was really curious to see what this was all about. So I went through and I saw that there are like art and geography and grammar and punctuation and commonly confused words and spelling words and writing and all of those things. Like, look at that vocabulary, guys. What I really wanted to show you though, and this is what just made my heart so happy as a mom, was this lesson 1 course introduction. And this I am going to read to you because this is just so us as a family, and so where we've been as a family in the last year or so. It says, welcome to the Wild Like the Foxes book study. The goal of the good and the beautiful book studies is to strengthen both your mind and your heart. Thus, you are about to dive into a study of things that are pure, lovely, and of good report. Philippians 4:8. And you are about to have a lot of fun. This is because learning that is connected to truth, meaning, and beauty, even if it requires challenging work, makes you feel good as it brightens and gives nourishment to your spirit. This is where I was like, your mind is like a garden. You choose the seeds of flowers, trees, and grasses to plant in your mind, and how hard you will work to nourish and care for the garden. Good and beautiful books will help your mind become a place where beautiful things grow and thrive. What do you want the garden of your mind to look like? Whatever design you think of, you can create by your choices and hard work. And that's not all of what's there, but I wanted to share that with you because if you saw our Get to Know Us video, which also was like our second video, I think, which also talked about why we chose to call our homeschool Rooted Homeschool, it's a lot of what was just said in that introduction to this book study. So that was just confirmation to me that like I'm on the right track. So that is all I've seen so far. Everything else I'm seeing with you for the first time. So this is like a decent sized box, guys. So let's see what's in here. Ooh, at the bottom, I almost forgot about these. Okay, at the bottom are 2 books that are not part of his high school language arts, and I just had to try a couple of books from their library other than the ones that I got for Justice. So this one, Carl in the Garden, I saw over on Christy over at One Blessed Mess shared this in her, I think it was like her book haul video. And this is all about Carl Linnaeus, and this is kind of like an add-on, I think, to their botany unit in The Good and the Beautiful, but I'm really excited to try this because we did do square foot gardening. We're actually still finishing it up and still need to do all of the gardening. So I feel like this will go perfectly along with that. And we also want to do botany with Gather Round Homeschool next year. So I grabbed this. And then while I was looking for this, because I knew I wanted that, I also saw this one, Plant Hunters, the story of two women botanists. So I want to use this one for all the same reasons as what I just said. So I thought that that looked really cool as well. So I'm really excited about that. I really think my kids will enjoy this one as well as myself. So everything else in this box is High School 1 from The Good and the Beautiful. Wow, okay, I'm gonna have to open this up. Make sure I don't cut anything here. So excited, I don't have to print anything, I don't think. Okay. Wow, guys, look at all these books. Okay, I'm gonna start with the books, okay? I'm gonna start with the books. So the first one is, I don't know what order they go in. I'm gonna have to look through all of this. Into the Unknown, and this one is about 3 Arctic explorers. So that sounds really interesting. I think Justice will think that that's interesting as well. This one is Patterns on the Wall. This is historical fiction. It says Elizabeth Yates has woven in moving messages of kindness, gratitude to God, faith, appreciation of nature, hard work, love of learning, self-improvement, optimism, humility, long-suffering, and patience. All things I think we want our 13-year-old boys to have for sure. The next is the story of John Greenleaf Whittier. And so it says he dedicated the majority of his life to fighting slavery, and as a result, he lived in poverty most of his life and struggled to care for those he loved. Little did he know the poetry and legacy he left behind would touch the lives of thousands of people for decades after his death. Super excited about that. 2 more books, and then all of the curriculum, guys. Okay. Then we have Up From Slavery by Booker T. Washington. This is an autobiography where he tells his own story with skillful, engaging writing. So really excited about this one as well. Just David. So this is from the same author as Pollyanna, so I'm super interested. I have not read this one either. I kind of want to read all of these books also, so I'm interested to see how they go. Next up is the Grammar and Writing Guide. So this looks really interesting, really extensive. This is grammar, writing, punctuation, usage, sentence diagramming. So this looks like this is going to be huge in terms of him really grasping language arts. This looks like this is probably, these are the 10 units. Ooh, Emerson. High School 1 course instructions and Unit 1 is the first booklet here. I love that it starts with a quote on the front. Okay, I'm super excited, but I'm gonna need some time to look through these. There are 10 of these, so I know one thing that is different, even though I haven't used any of the previous levels of The Good and the Beautiful, is that there's one big course book for language arts in all of the younger levels, and for high school, they're broken up into 10 different units. So that's what these little booklets are. And then last, I've heard about these. These are the geography cards, it looks like. Yeah. Geography and grammar or vocabulary maybe. I'm interested to look through these. I'm so excited that I don't have to print anything for this curriculum. I'm like super pumped about that. So that is everything, guys. So I got the summer reading books for all 3 of my oldest kids. I got these 2 picture books to go along with our gardening unit that we're finishing up. I got this level 8 book study for Justice, Wild Like the Foxes, and I got the High School 1 curriculum. All right, so I just wanted to give you a close-up of everything that I got from this order, our very first order from The Good and the Beautiful. So those 2 picture books to go along with our gardening unit, all 3 of the summer reading level books for all 3 of my oldest kids. this level 8 book study, Wild Like the Foxes, all of the books that are part of the High School 1 curriculum, the grammar and writing guide for High School 1, the geography cards, and all of the High School 1 course unit books. There are 10 of them. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to follow up with a High School 1 flip through and just more information all about High School 1. I'm really excited. I also wanted to say that I do have in mind to try more of the curriculums from The Good and the Beautiful. So you'll have to stay tuned for my upcoming curriculum picks for 2021. So obviously you know what I'll be using for high school language arts, but stay tuned for all of those other curriculum videos and let me know like what are must try things from The Good and the Beautiful, because I will be putting in at least one more order before next school year. So let me know if there are things, those of you that use The Good and the Beautiful, that I absolutely have to try. And if you have any questions about the High School 1 or any of the materials that I've gotten, if you want to see flip throughs of anything at all, let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not already following me over on Instagram, definitely come follow me over there for more day-to-day updates at rooted_homeschool. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Click that notifications bell so you can get a notification when my upcoming curriculum picks videos are coming out and all of the other fun videos that I have coming your way. If you're new here, introduce yourself in the comments, and until next time, stay rooted.